Belarusian forces are teaming up with Russian forces to practice how they would repel an attack from Western nations. The exercise is an ominous signal, perhaps, that Vladimir Putin has no intention of ending his war against Ukraine. Our reporter Patrick Reevell today was granted rare access to cover war games in the Eastern European country of Belarus and reports now from on the ground.
Russia putting on a display of firepower. Several thousand troops taking part in the exercises called Zapad 2025 that simulate Russia and Belarus fending off a Western attack. Russia is holding the war games in Belarus amid high tension in Eastern Europe and as Vladimir Putin has escalated the war in Ukraine.
The reason we have been brought here is because Vladimir Putin wants to send a message to the West that he will not be deterred in Ukraine.
Last week, Russian drones for the first time flew into Poland in significant numbers. NATO aircraft scrambling to shoot them down. In response to the Zapad exercises, Poland has closed its border with Belarus and deployed thousands of its own troops. The last time Russia held these exercises, it used them as cover to build up forces for its invasion of Ukraine. Belarus's dictator Alexander Lukashenko allowing the Kremlin to use his country to attack Kyiv. The Kremlin and Belarus this year insist the exercises are purely defensive.
The last time we were in Belarus for military exercises was just before Russia invaded Ukraine, and back then there were no drones involved in those drills. This time they feature very heavily. Since the war in Ukraine, Russia is clearly very interested in showcasing its capabilities in drone warfare.
At the war games also, some unexpected guests. 2 American military attachés invited to observe. Belarus's defense minister welcoming the officers. The only other NATO countries who sent observers, Turkey and Hungary, a Kremlin ally.
I am sorry, we're from ABC, from the States. You're not allowed to comment. You're not allowed to speak.
In recent months, the Trump administration has begun thawing relations with Belarus. Lukashenko, once known as Europe's last dictator, is a key Kremlin ally. The US and Western countries heavily sanctioned his regime over Russia's invasion, but also for his brutal crackdown on mass pro-democracy protests in 2020.
We're really seeing 2 Belaruses here. On this side, the protesters, like a street party, and then on this side, the riot police blocking their path.
Lukashenko crushed the protests, arresting thousands. But recently, he's reached out to the Trump administration. Lukashenko has freed some high-profile political prisoners, releasing more than 50 last week. Around the same time, Lukashenko met with Trump's envoy to Belarus, Trump sending a letter wishing Lukashenko happy birthday. In exchange, the US has lifted sanctions on Belarus's national airline and now says it wants to fully normalize relations. The warming relationship with Belarus is potentially an important boost for the Kremlin. It's now been a month since President Trump rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska. The Russian president since then has shown no sign of moving towards peace. President Trump has said he now will not impose sanctions on Russia until NATO countries first stop buying Russian oil entirely and sanction China. That's unlikely to happen, and that means that President Putin right now is emboldened. Linsey.
Patrick, thank you for us on the ground in Belarus.